And action. Classic clackboard. This was a Christmas present from my best friend in the world. So, yeah, as you guessed, this is a Christmas haul vlog, which I don't normally like doing, even though I tend to do one every year. But people ask for it. People want to see what the YouTube Toy Geek actually got for Christmas. So why not? People wanted to see it, so why not? I might as well do it. I haven't been able to get any other videos done lately as it is. We've had family in town, which has pretty much taken up all of the time. And family means my aunt and her 2 twin 7-year-olds. So you can imagine I didn't get a whole lot of time to myself to actually work on videos. I will tell you the funny part about them visiting. Because of all of that, guess which room is their favorite? So they come over and they want to stay in cousin TJ's room. They want to play with all the toys. Okay, fine. What do I have that won't break? But usually what keeps them entertained the longest are some of my Kamen Rider belts. Last time they were here, we were playing with the Wizard Driver. And they really like the ring gimmicks. They like, well, you don't even have to touch it. It makes all these cool lights and sounds. It's speaking a language they've never heard of, but they don't care because it's doing these things all by itself. And they thought it was really neat that way. This time they were fascinated by the lock seats. Just this, because this is such a weird toy. Even in Japan there's a little bit of cultural context. Here, nothing. But they just thought it was this really neat little thing. Oh, there's a bunch of padlocks with fruit on the front. What's that one? What's that one do? What's that one sound like? Oh, can we try the pine? I like, pineapple's my favorite. So we were, we went through, we spent a day just going through all the lock seeds with the Sengoku driver and the Genesis driver. They went through almost every one I had. And they are absolutely loving it. All they were doing was trying out the henshins. They didn't even know, or care that it made other noises after that. What was funny though is we went through all of those the first day. So they come over a second day. I'm like, well, we already went through all the locks. I can't show them any of those anymore. So what else do I have? I've only got the two shift cars it came with, but let's try out the drive driver, because now I'm curious. Is it just me? Am I just like jaded and just coming off of like an incredibly cool toy line that I'm like, no, this isn't, this isn't as weird as fruit padlocks. Give me back fruit padlocks or something. So maybe my opinion was colored somehow. So I break out the drive driver and I do the same thing. I show them how it works, and I show them how to switch cars, and I show them that, well, look, I'm not even touching it. It does all this stuff, and there's little light animations and everything, and they start, they try and play with it. They watch me play with it, and they go, this is boring. It's like instant validation of my opinions. Like, I know people are into Drive, and all the power to you. If you like a Kamen Rider series, that's great. More people need to. It was hysterical though. It was like, yes, my own focus group. You bring validity to my opinion. So, apparently, according to kids, the drive driver's boring. So, there you go. Yeah, we went back to playing with lock seeds. So that's what's been going on the last few weeks here. There's tons of stuff I do want to review. I've been getting a lot of the last of the 2014 generations. You'll see what else I've been getting that I kind of want to get to. And I've been working on something else on the side, which we will get to here shortly. First, I guess first off, I show off the things that you people watching out there sent me, because some of you are generous and sent me things for Christmas, and I love you people for it. Let's see. Austin is a very loyal fan. I see him all the time over on Twitter. Sent me the complete Beast Wars DVD set, which is absolutely awesome. Love having this in person. Yeah, this is gonna be my go-to for Scott at MetroCon this year. If I can't pull up any weird random toy, he's gonna get the signed Beast Wars for me. So that's gonna be cool. Yeah. I need to go through here and see all the special commentaries and interviews and such. Well, that he packed that box with so much random stuff. I got robot toys. I mean, toys from the movie Robots. You know, with Robin Williams as like a little red junker bot. He sent me so much. I got little Lego figures. I got a Lego Boba Fett. He sent me a Legion of Superhero ring, which goes with all my different colored lantern rings. So I'll probably track down a Flash ring at some point just to completely clear up the DC ring collection. That was a fun box. There's just so much little random stuff in there. That was fun to open up. From Joshua, sent me. Oh, where did I put them? Joshua was very cool. He sent me a bunch of Construct bots, which I'm starting to get a very large collection of Construct bots without actually buying any Construct bots. It's weird. It looks like I support the series quite a bit. I haven't spent a dime on it yet, but Construct bots are actually pretty cool. I don't buy them. I don't go out of my way to buy them, but when I do get them, I do tend to enjoy them. They're well articulated. I kind of like building them up. Vehicle modes are always interesting on these. That's Megatron, if you can't tell. Which other ones did I get from him? Here's Grimlock. The aesthetic for these with all the little gaps and all the skeletal bits really did well with the Age of Extinction Dinobots. You know, so I've got 3 of them. Those have so far been my favorites out of the line. You know, and they also worked in a little bit of gimmick that's not really intrusive in any way. So that works for me too. So I've got a bunch of Construct bots now, and I need to figure out something to do with them. Because while they are fun, they're all kind of built the same way, so they do start to blend together after you've got so many. So it's definitely a toy line where you only want to try out a few. And right now, I'm more inclined to say, yeah, grab a dino if you're curious about how they work and how they play, because the dinos seem to be more interesting. So those are going to go off to the side here. Yeah, my bed's covered right now and all the stuff I've got to talk about here. He also sent me the Generations Nightbeat, which actually works for me way better than Bumblebee does. I'm actually quite happy to have this one. I like having an IDW Bumblebee. I just don't like having that IDW Bumblebee. It's kind of weird to phrase it that way, but this toy works for me so much better as Nightbeat, even if that's not who it is intended to be. Maybe I'm just tired of Bumblebees. There might be that. So maybe, I don't know. But he's a nice little toy. At least like him better than I did like the Bumblebee that I had. And Brian, who went to Metrocon with me a couple of years back, usually very good about sending something. He really likes adding to my G1 collection. Like, he's the guy who got me Squawk Talking Beast Box, you know, when I was at Metrocon for a birthday present. So to add to my G1 collection, he sent me Cosmos and Warpath, two of the mini bots that I like the best from G1. I remember playing with these as a kid, but I never actually sought them out in adult. I never get around to searching out mini bots, but I actually got quite a decent collection of them. He sent me Gears too. We had Gears. Gears is a neat little one. He's very squat, even for a mini bot, but he's a neat little toy all on his own. So he's bulking out my G1 collections a little bit, because it's a mini. Never mind. So that was really cool with people. Now we get to like the actual like presents from family and everything. I apparently have a family of internet trolls. At least that's my best guess, because everyone decided, well, he's a toy collector. We never know what to get him that he doesn't already have, and these days he's importing so many, and he's into those weird like independent Galios toys. Like, I have no idea what any of this stuff is. So rather than fight that, or I don't know, ask me what I want, they decided to just make it a cash Christmas just to make it easy. But I apparently have a family of internet trolls, because between aunts, uncles, grandmother, parents, everyone decided I was getting, I think the number was $475 altogether, and all in $5 bills. So for a while there, I knew what a stack of $105 bills actually looked like, and as you can see, they're not all gone yet. I don't know. It was one of the weirdest little like Christmas openings I'd ever had. It was bizarre. Like I don't know what they thought. Like I had to go get them exchanged at a bank just to spend them. Like you really think I walk into There was part of me. There was part of me that really wanted to walk into a Target or a Toys R Us or something, and look at a case and go, give me that PlayStation 4. And have them take it up to the register, scan it in, okay, here's the total. Alright. Here's a stack of 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And just stand there and make them count it out. Make them count it out. Get it all the way up. We can go 385, 390, 395. Wait! Oh, it's a PlayStation. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a PlayStation 4. I meant to get an Xbox One. Here, hang on. Let me go back. Not that I want a PS4. I just want someone to count it all up. I just want to like drop it. I wanted to drop it all on the counter and just wait. I got all day. Keep going. I'm not that cruel. I do not have that in me. I wanted a variety of things. Christmas is about getting loads of things, so I'd rather have a bunch of smalls that give me a lot of variety rather than one big. And if I got a PlayStation, I'd only be able to get one game after that anyway, so I was like, big deal. If I want, most games that I want on a PlayStation, I can get on Steam, so what do I care? So that said, let's see, what all did I grab? Let's see. I guess we will start with the Transformer stuff, because that's the stuff you always start with. And just as I say, I might be sick of bumblebees. Here's the RID Bumblebee, who desperately needs heel spurs for him to really balance correctly and actually make me feel like he's balancing correctly. He's a weird one. Like, I don't know why. Like, I've seen people calling him the best of the wave. Really? Because he's got a ton of kibble on him, and he's the only, like, he's using so much shell hanging off of his back, hanging off the back of his legs. I hate shell hanging off the back of the legs because it obstructs the leg articulation. And he doesn't stand that well because his feet are done so weird and have no heel spurs. He's not a bad toy. He's not a bad toy. I just feel like he's got some design elements that are kind of dated. Even within his own wave, they seem dated. So, I don't know. I like the new Bumblebee design. The toy doesn't work for me that as well as it does other people. And speaking of that, since I got the entire first wave, Steeljaw. I don't know if he's supposed to have all these loose tabs, and I don't know if his elbows are supposed to be really screwed up, but this thing, mine is a piece of junk. I got loose joints and tabs that don't hold in place, and panels that don't hold where they're supposed to, and his transformation is really finicky even if everything does work, and just his legs are even worse than Bumblebee's. He needed heel spurs desperately, and I have to tripod him with his tail. His tail should be like this really cool element that I can add to his posing. It isn't, because his posing is so restricted because he has no freaking ankle. He has absolutely no heel spurs. So I will say he's not Plastic Addict bad because it might just be mine and some really bad QC issues, but I don't know. I really don't like Steeljaw. I really don't like. Really don't like. And get to the ones I do like. Grimlock is really nice. I like that he transforms very different from other Grimlocks. I like that he actually has a transformation that solves the giant hollow issues that past Grimlocks have had, especially in animated and Generations. He's a good-looking bot, very different than your typical Grimlocks. Ironically enough, colored the same way as RID Grimlock, which was definitely not like your usual Grimlocks. So he makes a cool little piece. I like him. Actually, my overall winner of the wave turned out to be one that people didn't like as much, which was Strong Arm. And I love Strong Arm because that is a very different design for a female Transformer, but it still looks very female. You know, there's no mistaking. It's a girl bot. Very powerful design. Looks really good. Yes, people complain because she has a backpack of panel pieces, but it's only 3 as opposed to Bumblebee, who's got like half a dozen. And it's necessary because it makes her vehicle mode look so big, and it's a truck, so it should look big. So I find it to be necessary, and I think she actually wears it well because she is so heavily built. Unlike Bumblebee, where he just looks like he's wearing a bunch of scrap. So I give this one a lot more forgiveness for its shell than I do Bumblebee, because I think it wears better on her. And it's just a really solid toy. It feels nice, it stands nice, it actually has heels. So, Strong Arm's a big win for me. Strong Arm I might review all on her own at some point. I ended up getting like the little Legends Optimus too. Little tiny Legends Optimus. Because I really like that design. I really want one of those Optimus Prime toys, probably the Deluxe. I really want that into like some Rodimus Prime at some point. Because the molding and the shape of the vehicle is really primed for it. In other things, I want to save one of them to last. See, what else did I get? This is all from like BBTS. This is all the self-bought stuff that that stack of 5s eventually paid for. Oh, what did I do with it? There it is. Here we have Generations Crosscut, which I realized I had Generations Skids on my wish list last year and did not get him. My family actually got me Dark of the Moon Skids instead. And you can imagine that disappointment on Christmas morning when I actually opened up a Skids. But I liked the look of the toy. I loved how many extra guns and hidden weaponry it had, and I thought, let me have that. I want to try that mold. So I thought Crosscut looks like a better version. I'm not attached to the character, but he looks cool. This thing's garbage. Like, and it's not the toy's fault. I don't think the toy's fault, even though it's got some weird design issues, and I find the transformation really finicky and bothersome. I got loose hips, I got loose shoulders, I got loose panel part. Nothing on this thing holds together. Like, if I didn't order it online, I'd return it to the store. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. So I kind of wish I had gotten Skids. I wish I'd spent the extra at BBTS and gotten Skids. Because at least then I could just display it and go, oh, there's G1 Skids. It's a little character. Okay. And this one I'm going to be using a little bit later in the year. This is, you know, because you can barely see it here, because that's the Q Transformer side swipe. It's the new Koro Q style toy. It's a cute little thing. I don't know why Sideswipe appealed to me the most out of that whole series. Doesn't matter. They're all basically the same toy. They're just molded differently. So, I don't know. It's a fun little distraction. I'll be using it later because I think we're going to do Toy-Sember in springtime. Probably around April. And he'll definitely make an appearance there if that happens. But I got to start working on it here in the next few weeks in order to make sure I've got it all in time. Beyond that, the big thing I got from BBTS was Combiner Wars. So, ton of stuff there. We talk about Optimus Prime, who is enormous. That thing is way bigger than I expected it to be. Huge and bulky. Now, he's got some issues because his proportions are really weird. He's got like super long arms. His biceps are really as thick as his shoulders and forearms, which looks weird. His chest looks really flat because it's the mold's really meant to be Motor Master, but they kind of jury-rigged it into an Optimus Prime. But you add a little bit of a slant to it, you actually give it a decent pose, and it looks a lot better. This toy is like not photogenic in any way, shape, or form. But he transforms really nice, and he's really solidly built. Like, I'm so happy with how solid it is. You know, and on the same vein, what did I do with him? Okay, I don't know where it ended up. I'm looking on the floor because it fell on the floor like 3 times. Yeah, there, I see it. Okay, it fell on the floor. I got Silverbolt too. Silverbolt's a really solid toy. Very much a G1 upgrade Silverbolt because it's a Concorde jet with a big block of robot bits hanging on the bottom. But it's a fun toy. It's a super solid Voyager again, and a nice transformation. I love how it transforms into the torso mode. Um, so let's do Combiner Wars stuff here. Alpha Bravo, and I'll give you a little nutshell reviews for all of these. I really like Alpha Bravo. Like, he's got some more... like, he relies on some extra parts and a little bit of kibble more than the others do, but he's a nice replacement for Slingshot. I think it's a nice little... I think it's a really nice toy. It's going to lead to some really nice remold possibilities. What amused me is pay attention to the way the feet and the tip of the helicopter transforms. You'll notice it actually borrows a lot from Classics Astro Train, which that part really kind of I got a kick out of once I noticed it. But he's a perfectly serviceable little bot. He's a very cool little toy, and he's actually much more involved than the other Combiner Wars Deluxes if you're looking for a more complex transformation scheme. Because the others aren't quite so much. Here, let's try out... you'll excuse me as some of the names escape me. I believe this is Skydive. I've never been good at keeping the aerial bots' names straight, so bear with me. If I get them wrong, don't correct me, because... I'm trying here. And I'll have already known them by the time you do get around to corrections. He's really nice. Like, the aerial bots really get into like some classic style engineering because they're really solidly built. Not nearly as many like hollowed out parts or parts I would expect to be hollowed. And a lot more paint too. Like, they step their game up on these. It's a simple transformation, but it's a really effective one. Again, it feels like the G1 toy grown up. There's some leftover kind of movie-ish elements to him. Like, the head design in particular, I think, is a little bit more over-detailed. It doesn't quite match the G1 look the others have. But he's a really nice figure. He's really solid. I like him. I do think he is beaten by Firefly, the former Fireflight here, who I really find favor with. Of the aerial bots, I think I like his colors and look the best. Really like the head sculpt on him. Good range of articulation. Again, these guys are just really solid built, really quality toys. It's very similar transformation too. That's the weird thing. The aerobots kind of transform the same way. Of course, they did in the G1s too. So who am I to complain? But for Combiner War stuff, I think keeping it simple is best because they have to do so much. It keeps them solid in all their forms. That's good. It keeps them from overthinking them. And they turn out to be extremely solid, like fun little pick up and play toys. Like, the Combiner Wars toys so far have been like the most fun I've had with Transformers in a long time because they're so well engineered and they're so well designed, and there's nothing overthought about them. You know, they're fun to just pick up and transform and get into different modes in a satisfying amount of time. They feel really good. Speaking of that, my favorite of the set is going to be Drag Strip. This thing is like a Classics Drag Strip. This thing could have come out in Classics and I would have been perfectly happy with him. He's built like a Classics toy. He's very solid. He has that kind of early to mid 2000s engineering where he doesn't rely on panels. He doesn't rely on half a dozen tabs on every piece. He doesn't rely on overlapping tabs in multiple directions on each panel. You transform him, you put the parts where they're supposed to go, and they stay there. And it's so rock solid. The vehicle mode's nice. The robot mode's nice. Oh my god, I'm in love with this freaking toy. You know, if he had had 6 wheels like the old school one, it'd be even better. But I like it. I love the toy. I love Drag Strip here. So I believe that's all the BBTS haul. I ended up running to Toys R Us for the first time in forever. Because when you have that much Christmas cash, you want to go to a toy store. You want to go to Toys R Us. So we grabbed a bunch of random things while I was there. That's where I got the little Legends Optimus. So if we stick to what we got on each shopping trip, stick to Transformers. This guy's neat. Well, vehicle, doggy, vehicle, doggy. It's very simplistic, but it's actually one of the more effective automorph transformations I've ever seen. I wish his head hit better, because that's obviously his head hiding in front of the vehicle modes. Canopy? I'm not sure what it is. So Overbite's fun. I don't know if he's going to get a better toy. I went Lego nuts at Toys R Us because they were clearancing out a bunch of them, and a bunch of them that looked really good, and they ended up having a discount on top of that. So I got a bunch of big Lego sets for dirt cheap. We start with a little Lego set, which is the Star Wars, the Microfighters AT Walker, which is another potential candidate for Toy-Sember Spring Break Edition. He's a really cool little toy. He's so cute. It's a tiny little AT, and they hinge the neck so it can actually form like the I've just been downed by a snow speeder pose. I love that they did that. Very cool, very fun little toy. Galaxy Squad, they were clearancing out. They're flushing as much of it as they could, so everything had like a few bucks knocked off of it, and then 30% knocked off on the top of that. So it's like almost half off on most of these. So we have the Interceptor here, which is a cool little toy. It's very classic in design. You know, I dig the color scheme. I don't know what this is about. I know some like sci-fi jets have that thing where the cockpit stays level while the back rocks and maneuvers. I don't dig that. I kind of wish it stayed in place. What I like about the Galaxy Squad stuff is that it all has like multiple modes. So it's kind of like a mask thing, where here the cockpit comes off and forms a little shuttle, and the rear stays put, folded up, and it becomes a defense turret, which I thought that was really neat. You know, I didn't know the Galaxy Squad toys did that until I actually looked at them at Toys R Us. I didn't know that was the gimmick they were going for. They're really cool little toys. That was kind of fun to notice. The one that got me the most was the Eradicator mech, which again, this was the one I was looking at before I went to Toys. This is the one that caught my eye out of Galaxy Squad months ago, and I didn't know it did the separation thing too. You know, here that comes off, and it really has like a full like transformation level thing where it forms another Walker suit. Completely different mech design. That's really freaking cool. I really like that. That was a really cool surprise to have. It's a really cool design too. Really fun toy. And because I'm a sucker for it, everything is still awesome. So we have this big boy, the Emmett Constructo mech. Huge. Really cool toy, really fun to put together. I will say I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm not as big a fan of Lego mechs, just because a lot of the design style gets repetitive. You know, when you have to build the legs pretty much transform. Look, this is how often I do Transformers. The legs all kind of build the same. The arms kind of build the same. It's a lot of symmetry in there. I kind of like building like big buildings instead. I almost said, okay, instead of this, let's just get like a modular and just spend a weekend building it. I'm kind of glad I didn't. Again, variety. I like at Christmas time rather than just getting big things. So he's fun to have. I finally have an Emmett that is not screaming. That's amusing. And there's a few other movie sets left that I still want. I still don't have Benny's spaceship, mostly because I don't know where it would go in all of this. You know, stuff that I can stand on a shelf, that's fine. You know, big vehicle things that like they need to hang from the ceiling somewhere, I don't do that so well. So I don't know. See, I think, unless you want to look at my Steam list and see all the stuff I got during the last Steam sale, which, boring. The last thing I got, this one's going to draw attention. People are immediately going to go, review that. That is the Legacy Dragon Zord, which I still have my vintage Dragon Zords, so I'm actually able to compare the two. And this is so much cooler. I love the articulated tail. I love that the tail is actually like proper sized. You know, I wish it could fold like all the way up here. just so it could stand in a shelf better, and because that's like what I was usually doing in the show. It was just like hanging off of a string, like all the way behind it. I love the swappable hands. I love that everything is molded in and painted thoroughly. The diecast is nice, unnecessary but nice. I know they try to create collector's items, but if this thing was $10 cheaper because you use solid plastic instead of metal, I think it'd be a lot more approachable. I'd say the same thing about Titanus. This irks me because over the weekend I went up around after Christmas. We went up to Tampa to visit friends, and I got to check out a Toys R Us up there. There, I wanted to browse around because I've never been to any Toys R Us besides the ones that are local here. Just wanted to see what they had. And one of the things they had was the Legacy Titanus for like the $100 price. I'm like, I would love to get that, but even though I had all intention of getting the Legacy Dragonzord on the way home, I did not have the Legacy Megazord, and I didn't have the 2010 Megazord anymore either. I thought, well, to get the Legacy Megazord on eBay is like $300 because once all of these started coming out, the demand just went through the roof. So I really didn't want to bother with it. Like, I really didn't want to try and hunt all of that down. I didn't want to spend the scalper price. Like, okay, if I can't get the Megazord, I don't want the whole set. Just give me the Dragonzord and I'll be happy. The next week, they announce a re-release of the Legacy Megazord. They do not have Titanus available here. Online, Titanus is only $50 off rather than $100. So that really kind of that kind of deflated me a little bit. I think if I want to spend $100 on a Titanus, I'm better to just try and find a vintage one because I've got an old school Megazord and Dragonzord. I really want a friend of mine as a kid let me borrow Titanus for a while, so I for a little while had the Ultrazord. I would love to have my own Ultrazord. So I don't know. I might review this guy. I really can't without at least the 2010 Megazord to combine them with. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Like, I never know what I'm in the mood to review. What I'm going to be in the mood to review next these days. So we'll see what I do with it. That's pretty much the Christmas haul. Lot of little stuff. This is probably like the biggest thing I grabbed out of everything, and even he was on sale. So that's pretty much the haul. I don't know how amusing that is. I just, like, people said, "Hey, I want to see the haul." No, let me see what it was. So there you go. Best I got. Excuse me. It's getting late. I've had a rough day. So I hope everyone had a good holiday. No matter what you sold, no matter where it's sold. God, I am tired. No matter what's This is rapidly descending. This is a downward spiral. I need to wrap up. No matter what holiday you celebrated, I hope it went well for you and your family and friends. I hope everyone's having a good new year. I hope 2015 treats everyone better than 2014 did, because man, it was the most stressful year of my life, and it didn't treat a lot of my friends well either. So I really hope it works out better for everyone this time. And hopefully I will get more done in 2015, provided life allows it. So I will see you on the next review. Hopefully some of the Combiner Wars stuff, I kind of feel weird reviewing them when I don't have the last aerial bot or the rest of the Stunticons yet. But if I wait that long, it's like, what's the point? It's old wave now. We'll see. I'll figure it all out. I usually do at some point. So take it easy, guys.